If there is any one thing that I know now from my experiences with OBEs, astral projection, lucid dreaming, it's that I am already everywhere all at once. I'm not trying to get out of here. It's just that I know now that here does not mean only here. Grounded does not mean grounded only to the earth. It means grounded to every level of my being. Venturing into these levels and in no way signifies or means someone is coming ungrounded. Going deeper into these levels takes me closer to the very ground itself, the foundation within which we all take our presence and form. Venturing into these levels grounds me more fully, grounds me more fully, centers me more fully within myself, the totality of myself. I'm not going to go in that direction directly. But sort of indirectly. There's one thing that's really coming through strongly, maybe most especially in the past week, since I've begun really honing in with this new consciousness experiment I'm doing, which for those of you who don't know, I'll go ahead and link to the thread down below again. But I'm beginning to see in a new way. I'm beginning to see what whatever is in here working with me is trying to get me to see short. It didn't quite put that through great, but I'll go into more detail. It has to do with seeing full structures, which we're very used to here in the physical reality, and seeing the bits that compose those structures. You know, so for instance, you know, seeing a lawn rather than the individual blades of grass, and looking into the individual blades of grass and seeing what comes next, etc., etc. So we start off seeing the physical reality. We start off seeing, you know, this large structure. And then, you know, when your consciousness starts projecting into the etheric and astral, when my consciousness started projecting into the etheric and astral, I started to see two layers of being simultaneously. Okay, it's sort of like putting individual letters together to form a word. You know, we start off with one letter, and and we sequentially go into other levels, and we get other letters, and it eventually forms a true full structure. I'm not really putting this through well, but it's going somewhere. Have you ever looked at a candle flame? It's odd, not many people really have. I've asked that question to many people because in my teaching of yoga, Tritak, or candle gazing, was a practice I would teach. And it was always interesting to me how many people never really looked into noticed a candle flame before. But if you were to do it, if you were to take your gaze into a candle flame, immediately you notice the flame. And that's where many people would just stop, because their attention wouldn't be steady enough to notice much else. But if you steady your attention there, you'll notice that around the flame there's a glow. And if you keep holding your attention steady, you may begin to see streams of light extending out from the flame. You may have to squint your eyes or something like this in the beginning to be able to see these streams. If your focus is very firm, very steady, you may be able to also then see these tiny moving points of light, fast moving points of light within the streams that are simultaneously moving out from the flame and in toward the flame. And it's a perfect representation of reality. It's something that I began seeing years before my conscious awakening, and I didn't exactly know what it meant. I could just see it, and I would ask other people if they could see it. And nobody else could ever see it quite like that. And but it's the perfect representation for reality, and how everything, all layers of reality, all layers of existence, all layers of being happen simultaneously, all at once. In the physical reality, we see things in a linear fashion. So we see this, and then we see this, and then we see that. But what's happening with me, from my consciousness projecting into the wider physical and beyond, is I'm beginning to be able to hold that simultaneous awareness, which is giving me a fuller picture. You could even say, because that it's a picture and it's visual, a fuller structure, a larger structure. I still sometimes have to go back and forth, from this picture into that picture, from the physical reality into the astral reality. But there's times when I'm able to also hold them simultaneously. And I want to say more about this, but instead what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to attach to this video a video reply I'm going to do for somebody on Facebook in just a moment about ET disclosure. And you'll see how these tie in, I hope, when I do that video in just a minute.